Good afternoon and welcome to the Humidor Report. Justin here from Southeast Texas's very own cigar club. We actually want to, before we get in today's featured product, we want to give you guys another reminder that this Friday night is the Port Arthur Seafarers Cigar event. That's starting at 7 p.m. As far as I know, tickets are still available, so you can go to, I believe it is pasc.org or pascf.org, but you can absolutely search Port Arthur Seafarers Center on Google, and you can find it. We will be there. We're actually the cigar hosts for the evening, and very much looking forward to that. And for anybody who may have missed it by now or hasn't been aware of what we've been doing here for the last week, we have been qualifying for somebody to win a pair of tickets to this event. Now, as of the time of this video releasing, qualification is now closed. But because we record this a little early, I can't tell you who won yet because we haven't quite drawn it yet. But what we will do is, if you'll look in the post that this video is attached to, we'll announce the winner there. So be sure to take a look at that post. Even if we don't have it updated right as the video goes live, we will draw this at 3 p.m. on Wednesday as the video goes live. So we'll update the post to let you know who that winner is, and we'll call that winner so that winner knows that they won a pair of tickets to the event. Again, that event's taking place this Friday night at the Port Arthur Seafarers Center. I do hope to see you all there. Now to the matters at hand in today's episode of the Humidor Report. We have a rather large edition of the Humidor Report today, and not because it's going to be 20 minutes, but because we're dealing with cigars the size of veritable baseball bats. When Asylum first came onto the scene a number of years ago under the auspices of Christian Eiroa and CLE Cigars, Asylum is actually, for those who aren't aware, it is made by Christian in his factories, but there is another name attached to the Asylum line, and that name is Tom Lazuka. Tom served as Christian Eiroa's marketing director, I believe it was, back in the Camacho era. That was a full 10 years ago. After Christian sold Camacho to Davidoff, and finally got Tabacalera Unidas going, which has your Arroyo, CLE, and Asylum products, so on and so forth. Lazuka wanted to actually have kind of his own brand as well. So Tom Lazuka and Christian Eiroa collaborated to make everything that is Asylum. That was the Asylums, the Asylum 13s. We've had now the what other funny? There was a Asylum 33 was a limited edition, a higher end Asylum that came out a number of years ago. So there's a bunch of things, the Medullas and Oblongadas, so on and so forth. Now we have a brand new Asylum called the Pandemonium. And if you will look at these guys here in front of me, they are absolutely no joke. Asylum is well known for having the super large size cigars. Now all of these cigars here are all the same ring gauge. I believe they're all 70 ring gauge. No, they're all the same length. They're up to a 70 ring gauge. We have a 52 ring gauge, a 60 ring gauge, and a 70 ring gauge. The length on all of them is 8.5 inches. So this is enough cigar to probably eat up an evening should you have nothing else to do with your evening. And what a good way to pass it, in my opinion, as well. Tell you a little bit about this one. This is the strongest offering that they have put out in the Asylum line, and it is 100% Nicaraguan tobacco. But it is certainly one that should burn for, you'd think a couple of days with the size of it. But if you've got some time to smoke, want something big and full-bodied with a good bit of Nicaraguan tobacco coming from the folks in Honduras at Tabacalera Unidas, that's what we've got happening right here with the new Pandemonium. So 3 sizes, again, all the same length, varying ring gauges here, but we've got them on the shelf and we've got them ready to go. Now, according to all of the reports I read from when these cigars were introduced at this year's trade show, these cigars were actually supposed to begin shipping in July. We've only just received them. So there are some other new items from Asylum that I am looking forward to telling you about, one of which is called the Asylum 7. It was scheduled to release in September. So I'm thinking if these are only just now making it to us, that the release on the Asylum 7 has probably been delayed as well. But that is their new high-end super premium Asylum that's coming. And once we finally do get it into the Humidor, we'll sit down and shoot a little video and tell you guys about that one as well. But for now, the Pandemonium's here. It's on the shelves. Come by, check it out, and make sure you've got some time to spare, because that one's going to burn for a good little while. worthwhile. Once again, this Friday night, Port Arthur Seafarers Center Cigar Event Dinner. We'll be there. We'll be hosting. Come see me. I'll be talking a little bit about the La Palina product. Is actually the product that we'll be featuring for that event that night. I'll be talking a little about the brand, the history of it, those blends, and talking a little bit about what Cigar Southeast Texas is, what we have planned here in the future. Just a way to kind of introduce ourselves to this part of the community since we are still relatively new to town. So if you can make it out, we'd love to see you out there. But even if you can't make it out and see us at the Seafarer Center, you know we're right here 7 days a week on Walden Road, right behind the Holiday Inn. And we hope you come by, hang out with us, and smoke one, and spend a little time hanging out with us here as well. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Humidor Report. Make sure to jump on over to the YouTube video where we actually have this hosted and posted. And make sure you give us a subscribe over there. That helps us out a whole lot as well. If you're only seeing it on Facebook, make sure you jump over to YouTube if you can and throw us some love there as well. That'll wrap us up for this week's edition. We'll be right back here next Wednesday at 3 p.m. And until that time, I'm Justin, and we'll see you at the club.